everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking about a new fragrance, fairly new fragrance, and it's called Belle Le Parfum Intense. It's by Jean Paul Gaultier and it is a new flanker to La Belle. Now I have La Belle. I got through quite a lot of La Belle last year and I was so curious when I heard about this new flanker, and a couple of videos came out on YouTube, and one of my lovely friends, Ange, who has the channel 50 Cents UK, she was kind enough to send me a sample, and the sample's here, and I sprayed it here. I have tried this on my skin now a few times, and I thought I would just share you some thoughts of what I think of the fragrance. I might come back with a comparison video comparing the original to the flanker. I saw a review on Fragrantica just now where they said that the two are identical, and I do disagree with that. They are related, you can tell they're related. But anyway, I've just sprayed it. The notes are pear, so that's the same as in the original. You have tonka, which was not a listed note originally, and vanilla, which was a listed note originally. There is clearly much more going on in here than those three notes, just like there was with the original one. So that to me had a lot more facets to it. I felt that there's a bit of an orange blossom feel to it. I also felt there was a little bit of a hint of something spicy in there, and also maybe some sort of amber kind of note. But let's stick with this one, the Parfum Intense. So it still has a sugary pear note. I've always described it like that. It's not a natural pear like you just bit into a real pear that you bought from the greengrocers. It's a sugary pear. It's not a fresh pear, it's not really a fresh green pear. It's almost like a stewed pear where you've added some sugar and it's almost all caramelized together. So it's very sweet and sugary, but you can smell the pear. But it is not a natural pear. It's very much the sort of thing where it's a flavor. It's been created by man, like when you have a pear flavored sweet, like a pear drop, kind of like that. It's a very rich scent. So it's rich, deep, caramelized, sugary, stewed pear. It feels to me like there's a hint of spice again, like I feel like there is in the original. But this pear almost feels like there's a bit of rhubarb in the mix. Something that gives it that slightly tart, slightly jarring scent of rhubarb. But just think, if there is any rhubarb, then it's kept to a minimum. It's just adding a little facet to the pear. So the main thing going on here is this sugary, dark pear concoction. But imagine just adding a teensy bit of rhubarb to just turn it, to give it that little kind of like tart, weird element that rhubarb brings out. Rhubarb can do something to a fragrance similar to how cinnamon works. Now I can't believe I'm going here again, but sometimes cinnamon and sometimes rhubarb in fragrances makes me, this is really awful, right? I remember once standing behind a homeless person who obviously hadn't had access to soap and water for a long time, and the smell that came from him, I could tell that I wasn't necessarily smelling armpits. I could tell that I was smelling, you know, lower regions. And sometimes cinnamon and sometimes rhubarb add a little bit of that to a fragrance. And I know it sounds really gross, but it just slightly goes there. This doesn't do that, so don't worry. This does not smell like a homeless person's unwashed nether regions. I promise you that. But there's something about the effect that those particular ingredient's going to have on a fragrance. So whether there's even, maybe there is a tiny bit of cinnamon, maybe there is a tiny bit of a rhubarby type note in here, I do not know, but I just feel like they give it a certain little twist that might ruin it for some people. Not for me. I like it, I think it's really nice, but not everyone is going to like this. I don't think just because you love the original La Belle, it doesn't mean you are going to like this one simply because of this unusual tart twist in this fragrance. Yeah, so it is a kind of like a fruity tart twist. You can smell the vanilla. The vanilla comes out more the longer you wear it. I can't really speak of the longevity. I haven't given it a full-on proper wearing, you know, all like that. I've just tried it on my skin a few times. But I feel like, just like La Belle, it doesn't do a lot in terms of changing on your skin. It just kind of mellows out, stops being quite so sweet. So with the original La Belle, it's really, really sweet when you first try it. And then to me anyway, my nose perceives it much less sweet as it wears on my skin. And I feel like this does the same. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a little floral element in here as well. I felt like it was orange blossom in La Belle. In here, if you told me there was rose in here, I'd believe you, but we're only talking a minimal amount. It's not, you know, it's not a really obvious thing. It just feels like there's a touch of a floral, maybe also a teeny bit of a white floral, a tiny bit. But I'm not sure. It also kind of has a slightly caramel feel. Yeah, it does. More so than, yeah, more caramel than florals. So it's like I said, I guess, so imagine the pear cooking with some sugar, but the sugar actually turns into caramel. So you've got a caramel pear. In actual fact, imagine like a cooked pear that's had extra sugar cooked into it, baked it, and then you coat it in caramel. So you know you can have a toffee apple, it's a toffee pear, but it's baked with a little tiny bit of spice in there, tiny hint of cinnamon maybe, and then a teeny tiny bit of rhubarb, and maybe just a little sprinkling of rose. And yeah, it's quite, but it is also definitely quite vanilla-y, but then things like caramel can smell vanilla-y anyway. So I think you get what I'm saying. It's actually really delicious. Really delicious. Do you need to own both? Probably not. They're similar enough, I think, that for me, because they're quite sweet, I don't wear these kind of fragrances that often at the moment. I haven't been wearing really sweet fragrances. I've been wearing lots of lighter things. But for me, I would be happy if I was craving something sweet, I would just grab the original La Belle. If I hadn't already bought La Belle, quite possibly would buy this instead. Which one do I like better? I need more time to decide. At the moment, they're really kind of 50-50. They're very close, but they are slightly different. For me, yeah, I only need to own one or the other. But I like it a lot for a very sweet fragrance. I think it's really nice, and I'd recommend testing it if you can. If you already have La Belle, I don't think you need to hurry out and try and test it. Just test it when you get the chance and make your own mind up. If you were thinking of buying one or the other, I don't think you could go wrong with either. I really couldn't help you decide. I'm sorry, but the thing with the original La Belle is it's been out longer. You might find you can get a deal on it, whereas the new one, the Parfum Intense, is still quite fresh to the market, so you might have to pay full retail for a little while longer. So that might be a factor in you choosing what to do. I wish designers would make it easier for us to test their fragrances. At the moment, here in the UK, shops are still closed. So, companies like Jean Paul Gaultier really should sort out the sampling options, because I would happily pay for samples of designer fragrances. I'm not expecting free samples, but it's impossible to try new fragrances unless you have friends in high places like Ange at 50 Cents UK. So I'm going to link Ange's channel below as well, because you really need to go check her out if you haven't done already. That's me done. Thank you so much for watching. You can like this video if you want. Don't mind if you put a thumbs down on it. I'm cool with that. And if you want to comment below, let me know if you've tried La Belle Le Parfum Intense. Have you tried it? Do you prefer the original La Belle, or do you like the intense version better? Are you hoping to try the intense version soon? And that's it really. Thank you. Bye.